Hi, fifth graders. Welcome back. Today we're learning about the Age of Exploration, Unit 2 content. Our goals today are to describe the Age of Exploration and its impact on the Americas. So, before we can talk about the Age of Exploration, let's talk about why countries were motivated to explore. So, we learned that Europe is a continent, it contains many different countries, and it's across the ocean from North America, which is where the United States of America is today. We learned that the European countries of Spain, France, and Great Britain began sending their explorers to the Americas for three main reasons: gold, God, and glory. So, gold just means that the countries and explorers were hoping to get rich. Some people hoped that they would find gold mines, like natural resources, in the Americas. Others were looking for an all water trade route to India and China so that they could trade spices and silk. Others just wanted to get rich off of the natural resources. So there are some people in some countries that are looking to get rich by coming to North America. So they're leaving the old world, which has Europe, to go to the new world. Some of them want to find gold. Some are looking for trade routes because if they can improve trade routes, then they can make more money. Many of them are looking for a trade route to get to Asia. Another reason people are motivated to explore is God, meaning they felt a moral obligation to convert the non Christian Native Americans to Christianity. They wanted to spread the Christian religion. Many people from Spain, especially, send missionaries to South America to convert the Native Americans to Christianity. And finally, glory. Some European explorers are just hoping to become famous for discovering new lands. So we have some people who are motivated by economics. They want to make money for themselves or for their country. And gold is going to be the main reason a lot of people are exploring. They're either looking for actual gold and natural resources or they're looking for trade routes. God, other people are motivated to convert natives to Christianity. Usually, those are individuals and not entire countries. And glory. Some explorers are just looking to become famous or bring glory to their country. So, again, we have our three G's: gold, economic, money; God, religion; and glory, fame and power for your country. Here we see a lot of different European countries. We have Portugal, Spain, France, and Great Britain, and they're sending plenty of explorers all around. Many of them are looking for that trade route to trade with China and India over here. They want those spices. But what they end up finding is this whole continent of North America. Now, again, when we talk about the old world, which is what the phrase that was used during this time, old world was a phrase used during this time. That's referring to Europe. It was considered old because the Europeans were used to it. It's old and familiar. The Europeans called North and South America the New World because it was new to them. So explorers are taking a risk in coming to America. The journey was very difficult, and when they got to America, many of them were fighting against Native Americans. They could have died in that journey or in battle. But people did it because they were motivated again by gold, God, or glory. And then European countries wanted to expand their country's wealth and power. So they're trying to get people to go and explore. They'll offer them gold and glory as long as they can claim more land for their country. So let's talk a little bit more about those three main countries. Spain, we know, is the country that sends the conquistadors to South America. They're responsible for conquering the Aztec and the Inca, and they established the encomienda system. That's where the natives were enslaved in their own country or own continent. Great Britain is the country that sends people to the 13 American colonies. Those colonies become the United States of America after the American Revolution. Great Britain is mostly interested in sending raw materials from the New World back to the Old World in England. They want to farm in America and then send those raw materials to England. And that's because there's a scarcity of farmland in England, but there's plenty in the New World. And finally, France is sending people to colonize North America in the area that's known as Canada today. They're more interested in fur trapping. They send their fur back to the old world for trade. So we have France up over here with their fur farms. Great Britain is over here with their 13 American colonies. Spain is mostly around here, conquering the Inca, the Aztec, and creating those encomienda systems where they're enslaving Native Americans. We have a couple of major explorers. One is Christopher Columbus. He gets credit with discovering, and I put it in quotes, he discovers America. We know that there were already people there, so he didn't really discover it. He was looking for an all water route to Asia for trade. So, thanks to him, the age of exploration, this time when exploration, people are leaving Europe and coming to North America, begins. So, it thinks that he can just travel this way and then bump into China, but instead he bumps into North and South America. But because of Columbus, the age of exploration begins. Hernando Cortes was the Spanish conquistador who conquered the Aztec Empire. And then Bartolome de las Casas, he's the man who was a European missionary. A missionary is someone who comes to convert people to Christianity. But he realizes that the Spanish are treating the Native Americans so poorly that he begins to speak out against this mistreatment. And all of this leads to something called the Columbian Exchange. This was the name of the transfer of plants, that should have a T there, plants, animals, cultures, ideas, and diseases between the New World and the Old World. It gets its name after Christopher Columbus. Columbus discovers this land, he tells people about it, and now new people are coming back and forth between the New World and the Old World. As they're doing that, they're seeing, oh, there are some plants that grow in the New World that we've never seen before, so they bring it to the Old World. Or they'll say, oh, there are things like animals, horses that don't live in America. We'll bring them to America. There were many positives to this exchange. One, there were new food types in both continents, so it helped improve their diets and their nutrition. There were also new ideas that were spread between the New World and the Old World. And this happens because the two groups trade it with each other. It exposes them to new ways of living. This exchange of culture is known as cultural diffusion. When you spread and share your culture, it's known as cultural diffusion. So the Columbian Exchange leads to new foods and new cultures in both the New and the Old World. And here we see some of the things that were traded. Lots of great new foods coming into Europe. There are some new foods going into the New World, but we also see here disease. The Europeans had immunity to diseases that the Native Americans did not. So some of the negatives. First, there was rapid population loss of the Native Americans, and that's because of these diseases right here. The diseases from the Old World killed millions of Native Americans. Native Americans did not have immunity to these diseases, but the Europeans did. And because the Europeans had better weapons like steel swords and guns, many natives also died in battle against them. But ultimately, the natives really died from the diseases. Natives also lost their land. They lost their way of life. And when we think about missionaries coming trying to convert them, they're taking away their religion, they're taking away their way of living. The natives, though, let's remember, were not brought to Europe. They were just enslaved in their own home continents. And then finally, Africans began to be captured by Europeans and shipped to the Americas to be sold into slavery. So the Columbian Exchange, this discovery of America and this like rapid sharing of ideas and culture and things, has some positives, but ultimately for the natives, it's mostly negative because there were so many who died. And here we see natives dying of European diseases. We see in this chart here how rapidly the population dropped over time. And that population dropped because of the European diseases that were spread to natives. All right, you have some review questions. answer them on your paper, and you have a great day.